Zero sugar. That's how you keep that weight down. I was gonna make a video anyway. Coming back from my hiatus to the YouTube channel, the first one was gonna be about reference track, the second video about Caitlin Clark. Two of the big things of all the topics that's been going on my mind. But I was asleep. I slept most of the day today, and I woke up. And you know how you wake up on the couch and you got your phone out and you're just playing on social media. One of those disheartening parts, if I'm gonna be honest, is that I'm talking to two battle rappers. I'm talking to two very painfully skilled battle rappers. They're gonna see this video. They can say their name if they want to. I'm gonna leave their name out. That's what's disheartening about what motivated me to come up and make this video. I came back here to finish recording my album. By the way, I done recorded 13 songs. 13 songs in a week. And I came back here to record my 14th song. I'm in my album writing mode right now, y'all. It is my pen, by the way. So let's talk about reference tracks and ghost writers, because I see so many people talking about this. I see so many people trying to spin a narrative. Before we get into the details, I do want to throw out that hip hop is subjective. That means that nobody is wrong. If you go on a comment thread and you say your opinion is you don't care if someone has a ghostwriter, you don't care at all, for whatever reason, you are 100% correct, because it's subjective. It's your rules. If you don't care, you don't care. Just keep that same energy when someone actually does care. They have a right to care about someone's penmanship and how they portray themselves to be. Keep the same energy. You want me to not care that you don't care? Then don't care that I care. Let me have my opinion like I let you have your opinion. I do the same thing I do online like I do with my children. Is I tell my children, as long as you can defend whatever position you have, you're good. Don't listen to daddy. You don't have to go by daddy's narrative. You can have yours. Your dad only asks you to be able to defend why you believe the way or feel the way you feel. Now, when we talk about reference track, my shit is fucking simple. You can no longer be in any topic of any best lyricist, best pen game, if you recite in a booth words that came from someone else in a verse, specifically in a verse. I don't care about choruses because choruses come from everyone. I can get on the track with three dudes. They say, hey, John, you want to come on the track? They already got the chorus made. But when it comes to the verse, everything you hear me rap will come from me. That is what sets you apart as an artist. That's what makes you an individual. Adele's throat, no pun intended, makes her an individual. Wow, look at the range. Look at the note she hits. Alicia Keys, Whitney Houston. These are the things that singers have that rappers don't have. That different vocal range that Christina Aguilera carries is the same to a rapper with an excellent top-notch pen. But every time Christina Aguilera takes that long, heavy note and break those octaves, I can see it. She performs it on stage. That's her throat. She didn't switch out and use somebody else's voice box. That's Christina Aguilera, so I respect her for her skill set. So if you want me to respect your pen, write your fucking verses. It's that simple. That's how I operate. So this is how it goes when a reference track is leaked online. I sit here, put my headphones on, I listen. I don't really care about the chorus part. I go directly into, okay, here's the guy rapping. He's rapping. All right. Did the artist say this in the song? Did Drake say this in the song? Louis Bag, that's part of a verse. Drake's out. Drake been out since the first leak from way back with Quentin Miller. He's been out, in my opinion. Now, I can enjoy Drake as an artist. I can enjoy Drake's songs. I can sing the song word for word. I can have no problem with the song. Drake is cool on his goal to sell the most albums. If he feels that if someone else writes parts of my verse, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just here to sell my albums. I have no problem with that. You just simply are out of the loop when it comes to me or having one of the best pens. You can forget that because you will write your own verses. It's that simple. Now, when I say everybody can have their own opinion, right? That's one thing. Another thing is when you use words cleverly and evoke a general topic to try to change the subject. That shit may work on other people. It don't work on me, baby. So when I say somebody tries to change subject, a reference track will leak, and this person will have the same rule that I do. They don't want someone else to write somebody else's verses. But because it's an artist that they like, they'll change the rule to, oh, well, what are y'all talking about? That's not ghostwriter. A ghostwriter when they're not credited. This person is credited. The argument was never about who's credited or not. You should only be bringing up if someone is credited or not if the debate is about them being credited or not. If the debate is, this motherfucker is saying words somebody else wrote, then when you say that person is credited, it literally has no meaning. I'm looking at you like, the fuck you talking about? Why are you mentioning this? You're using a slight trick of words to try to change the narrative because you don't want to deal with someone you like is spitting bars from someone else. How do you want a person to respect your pen if you're saying something from another man's pen? It is clearly that simple. Now, I was a sign artist. We got to go way back a long time ago. Y'all see these gray hairs on me. I got signed in 2002, right? So you go through a change as you go inside of the industry. I go from being broke and just grabbing beats from people I know around my city or town, or trying to struggle and save that money for beats. And then you get signed and it's like, I just got to show up and just sit inside this big ass studio, and the studio is locked down for me the entire day. And then big top artists is coming in. And then also, you know, we talking about the CD era. There's a big stack of CDs, and all of these CDs are filled with like 21 tracks. They're all beats, and I'm listening to these beats. And I don't want to say nobody's name, but if you go back to 2003, just one of the top big 4 producers in the entire world. I get a stack of CDs from this person. And right, I'm like on cloud 9, like, oh my God, I made it in life. Like I got this producer CD. I don't care. I'm picking some on here. I don't even care if I don't like it all the way. I'm picking a beat from here. And one thing I quickly learned about the industry is that they don't make those beats by them. They're not sitting there hitting the beat machine and taking everything from the beginning to end. They got a lot of help from a staff of people on their production team who doing a lot of the work. Or in one instance, they just took somebody else's beat and threw it on their name because they're big and famous. They just hijacked the beat. And then, like, if I would have rapped on that beat, it would have said produced by a famous producer, but they didn't produce it. And that was eye-opening for me. I'm like, we got ghost production. I didn't even know this shit existed. You learn shit quickly in the industry. So I'm like, my feelings on that is, I'm sticking to my lane. I don't know nothing about production. Shit seemed weird to me, but like, that's how they do it. That's how they do it. It's not my element. In my element is writing. So I'll tell y'all a story that happened back in 2003. It was young Jeezy was just really coming out, right? Big on the streets. And he had a group called Boys in the Hood. So I go in the studio in Atlanta, and there's a reference track for me from Young Jeezy and Boys in the Hood. The whole entire song is already done. I sit down, I listen to it, and the beat is banging. I'm happy because this is about to be my beat, right? So I'm listening to the reference track, not listening to the verses at all because I'm knocking them bitches out. Ain't nobody writing for your boy pen. I'm listening to the chorus, and I'm paraphrasing. It's 21 years ago. It was like, AR-15, just naming a bunch of guns, 45 Glock in the bag, check. And they just name the gun and say check. So I start writing. I instantly started writing my own shit. Number one, I wasn't no gangsta. I wasn't talking about shooting guns and all of this shit. I instantly changed the song to mine. The only thing on that song was the chorus where you hear Jeezy saying check in the background, just check. On the chorus. Getting y'all into the mindset of when you care about your pen. I instantly listened to a reference track given to me from said famous person blowing up while I'm newly signed and I'm not known at all. Nothing in me wanted to take their fucking lyrics. I knew I was going to write my shit. I had another artist that superbly skilled at writing, but he kind of only wrote in one style. So I figured to help him out, I wrote a reference track for him. I did the chorus. I did all 3 verses. I sat him down. I'm like, this ain't going to be something he liked, but I'm trying to get him to expand and make his album more versatile. The conversation with me and him as he heard this song was, I'm trying to sell him to do the idea of the song. Once he was like, all right, man, I'll do it. You know what he did? Once he said, all right, man, I'll do it, he instantly grabbed his notebook to pen his own verses. It was inconceivable, even with writing a reference track, that someone would take my words. I gave him the idea. He took that shit and he ran with it. He didn't even use the same cadence. But if someone uses the same cadence, that's cool because it still shows your skill. You put me on a track with the two people in battle rap I was debating on that post, and you give all three of us the same cadence. It shows three different skill sets. As this person writes their own verse in that cadence, I write my verse in that cadence, they write their verse in that cadence. You don't know what you're going to get because the pen comes from the brain, the creative process, and what you're making up with those words. That's what makes you you. That's what makes you unique. This all started from not Drake's reference tracks that have been getting released. As I'm laying on the couch today, it was Lil Wayne's reference track. So Drake wrote this song called I'm Single. Lil Wayne took the song. Me on my couch, I do what I always do. I'm listening to the reference track. I don't care about Drake writing the hook or the chorus. I'm waiting for the freaking verse. The verse comes on. The entire first verse that Lil Wayne said, Drake wrote that verse. Lil Wayne, from that one reference track, could never be on my list of top lyricists. A person that cares about their pen will never take a verse from somebody else. And you guys like to throw this narrative and try to look at the topic of a song, but you make it worse. You're like, yo, this wasn't a lyrical track. This was like a girlfriend track, or this was like a booty shaking song. Club, my nigga, those are easier to write than a lyrical track. Why the fuck are you taking this from someone else? Why can't they just give you the idea if you want to take that from someone else and then be like, all right, cool, I got it, bet. Let me write my verses. If you care about your pen, I'm gonna put into real life how this can affect you. So prior to me hearing this reference track from Lil Wayne, right, that I now see he had no problem going in the booth and spitting line for lines from his protege Drake at the time on this track, I'm Single. Prior to hearing this, Gilly the Kid came out screaming to the world how he had ghostwritten tracks that Lil Wayne took. Do you know what Lil Wayne's reply was? Lil Wayne's reply has always been, how can someone write for me when I don't even write? Because as you know, Lil Wayne tries to say that he goes into the booth and do what Jay-Z do. He don't write anything down. He just says it in his mind and then recites it out. Prior to hearing this reference track, we don't know any tangible evidence or details. But if someone has a history that they love lyricism, they care, they want to be taken seriously, that they got the best bars. Number one, this person, they made the choice to choose their defense. How could anyone write for me when I don't even write myself? I just say it off the top of my head. Lil Wayne chose that as his defense. And since he had a reputation of doing it, I believe Lil Wayne. So it makes Gilly the Kid look crazy to even try to utter that he's ghostwritten songs for Lil Wayne. But Drake ghost wrote a song for Lil Wayne. So now I go back and revisit what Gilly the Kid said. He don't sound so crazy. So Lil Wayne is going to argue he cares about his pen. He cares about being taken seriously. You hurt yourself when you put out that you care about your pen, but you let someone else wrote for you. And your defense was, no one could ever write for me because I don't even write for myself. I said off the top of my head. From now on, the doubt is forever in my mind. Did he write that or did he not write it? Because he's the type of artist that is totally okay taking lines from a verse. You see how I say it every time? Because it's so inconceivable to me to take lines from someone else. You can be the #1 selling artist. You can win the most Grammys. You can change the life of you, your children, and your family. No one will ever knock you for that. Push on, my young brother. Do what you got to do to sell. But as I see hip hop, as a purist, as I see it, you can have all of those things. You will still be taken off my subjective list of your pen game if you allow somebody to pen your verses. Holla at your boy.